Hello everybody and welcome to episode 53 of the Ask the Coach show. The show where we answer your table tennis questions. In today's show, we talk about table tennis records, types of bats, slow top spins, the floating elbow, and service rules in doubles. And as always, here with me to help answer your questions is Super Coach Alois Rosario. Welcome, Alois.
Morning, Jeff. How are you this morning?
Yes, I'm very good, thank you. Yes, it's maybe our last show for the year. We might do a couple more, but I'm pretty excited about today's show, Alois.
Yeah, you got some good questions up there, Jeffrey.
Indeed, we certainly do. But we have a bit of a discussion topic first because there was a bit of talk about the world's longest table tennis rally, Alois. So we want to know what are the world ping pong records which you think that you can break? It's an interesting one.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I've always thought about the longest rally, but I reckon that'd be really difficult, like just to keep the ball. It's 8 hours and 40 minutes. Like to keep the ball in play for that long, that is a long time with one rally.
Yeah, that is a very long time. And what do you do for food during that time?
I don't know. Food and rest breaks and stuff. I'm not sure what the rules are. Maybe you just got to keep going. I don't know.
Yeah, I had thought that was a world record that could be broken a while back, Alois, and Brett Clark and myself actually did a practice run to see how we would go, and we were just sort of just hitting the ball back and forth really slow, and we went for about an hour, and then we thought, oh, what happens if I need a drink? So someone brought a drink over, and then Brett tried to drink it and then just missed the ball after an hour. And I can imagine you were going for that world's longest rally, and you got to like 5 hours, you'd start to get so nervous that you'd mess it up and wreck it after all that time.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of pressure. I think that's just an amazing record. 8 hours in a row, like just to keep your concentration for like 1 hour is amazing. Like to keep your concentration for 8 hours so you don't make a mistake. Wow.
Yes, and well done to the Ives on that record. Very impressive.
Yeah.
The other one that is interesting, I'm not quite sure what the record is now. What about the most counter hits in a minute?
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe some of our PingSkills viewers know what that record is, but yeah, maybe that's a possible one. I reckon
depending on how high it currently is, I guess.
Yeah. if it's 25, I reckon I've got a chance.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. Yeah, so well, let us know what are the records that you think you can break. It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts.
And if you know any of the other interesting records about table tennis, that'd be good to hear your thoughts too.
Yes. All right. So yesterday's PingSkills question of the day was: will you play table tennis on Christmas Day?
I don't think I'll make it. Like, you just eat so much that I don't think I could even stand it. But having said that, I have actually played on Christmas Day. I remember going down to the old Coburg Table Tennis Club and playing on Christmas Day after Christmas lunch. Few friends headed down there, and we actually did a training session because we were in the middle of our National League. We went down and had a practice. So yeah, it's been done.
That is dedication, Alois. I'm not sure I'll be having a practice, but we've got a lot of kids around on Christmas Day, and so I'm sure we will have a little hit of table tennis.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Excellent. All right, so the PingSkills question for today is: what has been your personal table tennis highlight of 2014? So, as always, leave a response in the comments, and we'd love to hear your highlights. Okay. All right, are you ready, Alois?
I am. I'm ready.
All right, here we go. First question is from Llewellyn, who says, which side should be your forehand? The nubby or the smooth side? All right, it's actually from Jacob Llewellyn.
Yes. Yeah, interesting. I'm guessing that nubby means pimply bat, so something like that. Got some pimple.
Oh, sorry. Hold it still for me, Al. I am
Hello.
talking.
Can you see those pimples? Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm guessing that's what nubby means. Um, Firstly, if you're learning strokes and developing, it's probably better if you don't have a nubby side at all. It's probably better if you have um, inverted rubber on both sides. So, just something with a bit of sponge underneath it, so that you can learn the strokes well.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good point, Alois. But I remember when I was, first started playing at my friend's house, he had two types of bats. He had one that had those pimples on both sides, and then he had this other one that did have a smooth side on both sides. But because it had been, like it was a cheap pre-made bat, I think, but because it had been around for so long, it too had absolutely no grip on it.
okay. So he had nubby and anti. So
Yes.
Um, yeah, and that's I mean that's one of the things we talk about a lot. Just making sure that you've got a simple bat that you can learn with. So it has to have a bit of grip on it. If it hasn't got any grip on the surface of the rubber, then you're not going to be able to really learn those techniques. So first
Okay.
up, yeah,
So first up, get a good bat that has smooth rubber and grippy rubber. Not smooth,
yes,
it's actually, we call it inverted rubber, that it's actually grippy on both sides.
yeah, absolutely. So get that grippy rubber first, on both sides. But if you do happen to have a bat with nubby on one side, it's probably better to have it on your backhand side, just because your forehand will probably develop a little bit more. But yeah, that's probably my best advice for you, Jacob.
All right, thanks for the question, Jacob. All right, next question is from Pascal or Pascale. And the question is, I've been practicing my slow topspin and found a way to not get bored. And I was wondering if I do 10,000 slow forehand topspins in a week, can I make my stroke consistent enough to start generating speed? And is this good practice?
Yeah, Pasquale, it is good practice. Like anything where you're getting a bit of focus on your consistency and practicing something that much will be good for you. So earlier, Pasquale had sent in a few questions just saying that he just likes to hit the ball faster, and he finds practicing the slow, consistent strokes really boring. Setting yourself a goal like that to do 10,000 slow forehand topspins in a week is great, because then you've got something in mind. You know what you're trying to practice, and you go after it. So Pasquale has sort of updated me, and he said on the first day he did 1,004 slow forehand topspins. Then he got a bit bored and he wanted to and he tried a few fast ones, and they didn't really work for him. So he's gone back and he's going to do some more just slow forehand topspins, stick to his trying to get 10,000 slow forehands in the week or so, and then you'll see that the stroke will get better. So what's happening to Pasquale is that when he tries to play faster, the stroke becomes different, and he starts to do different things with his stroke. So that's really important. You need to get that slow topspin right, so your stroke is completely grooved, and then when you try to play faster, the stroke will hold up as well. So yeah, really important. Lots and lots of practice. 10,000 is a great number to aim for, and then just keep practicing. And remember, the technique is the key.
Great. Well done, Pascal. That's fantastic. Love your enthusiasm. Love the goals you're setting. Keep working, and I'm sure you'll keep on improving. Well done. Okay. Next question is from Daniel Martinez. And Daniel says, I find that on my forehand, my elbow wants to come up after the stroke, like I'm willing the ball to go over the nets and hit the table. Should I be concerned? Is it that my stroke is too close to my body, meaning I should use my whole arm?
Yes. Okay. So this is common, really, really common. I see it a lot. The floating elbow, I call it. So when you're playing your stroke, your elbow should just follow your bat up. Often I see this and this happen. So your elbow comes up and doesn't follow the same smooth path that your bat does. A couple of things that are likely causes, and probably the one that I see the most that is the problem, is your shoulder tightens up. So as soon as your shoulder tightens up, then your arm's got nowhere to go, and this happens. Okay, so instead of your bat flowing through smoothly and all the way up, if you tighten this joint, then the arm's got nowhere to go, and the energy goes into lifting your elbow up that way. All right, so that's the first thing. Really focus on that shoulder joint, and this is a really common issue with table tennis players. The shoulder tries to take over, and we try to do too much with that shoulder joint. So really keep that smooth. In that joint, in that joint, there's a ball and socket, and that's all got to move nice and smoothly. If you tighten the muscles around it, that doesn't move properly, and you get thrown off balance. So that joint there needs to work really, really nice and smoothly. The other thing that can happen is that if you get too close to the ball, then that you can tend to do that as well. So if you've got a bit more of a swing, a bigger swing, and we talk about there, like, Zuzin, nice big swing, then it's hard to get the elbow to float up because the arm's going in such a big motion. So yeah, so two things there to try. See how that goes.
Yeah, that's interesting. And is there any way for people to tell that they're doing that, perhaps by looking at their finishing position, or because some people might not even be aware that they're doing this?
Yeah. So one is to when you're doing your stroke, to just focus on what's happening here. Focus on your shoulder. Try to keep that as loose and as relaxed as you can, but still making sure that your stroke is moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
And
so
then
for your finishing position, you really want to make sure that your elbow's quite a way below rather than up near your shoulder height. Is that how to check?
Yeah. So let's think about like we did yesterday in the show. Talk about the 90-90 position. So you want 90 degrees here and 90 degrees here, or a nice corner, straight corner there, straight corner here. If you tense up, then you're going to tend to have either this or something like that, something different. So just get it up to that 90-90 position.
Great. All right. Well, thank you for the question, Daniel. It's certainly a common problem, and hopefully Alois's advice helps everyone out there. So see if you can work on your forehand technique and get a really nice forehand topspin. All right. Moving on to the next question, Alois, from General Specific, who's just asked on our Q&A app. So for everyone watching, you can actually ask a question using our Q&A app on our Google Plus page. Okay, so Alois, what are the differences? Sorry, let me start again. What are the differences between chopping with short pips and chopping with long pips? I'm very aware of the differences between the two types of rubber, but do you have any tips on how to achieve a consistent short pips chop on my backhand?
Yeah, so a short pips chop is pretty similar to an inverted rubber chop. Just the short pips will give you a little bit more control and a little bit less spin. So the stroke is really similar. The stroke for chopping is starting up nice and high and coming down towards your the level of your left knee, or your right knee for right-handers. But so with the short pimples, you might need to just turn the bat back a little bit more. To get a little bit more distance with your chop, because it won't bounce off as much, it's not as fast, and you're going to get less spin on it. So the basic stroke is exactly the same. Think about the same stroke, and we'll put a link to our backhand chop and forehand chop lessons, and then think about just changing the angle a little bit depending on the speed of their shot and also the speed of your rubber. So if it's short pips, you might need to push the ball forward a little bit more. If you've got fast inverted rubber, you can come down more vertically this way rather than pushing it forward more with the short pip.
And so the difference between the long pips and the short pips then is that the short pips will get the spin of the ball will react slightly more on the short pips than it would on the long pips. So you
Yeah,
might have to just change the angle of your bat slightly when comparing a short pitch chop to a long pitch chop.
yeah. The short pips, yeah, that's right. The short pips is going to grip the ball a little bit. The long pips, it's just going to keep spinning in the same way. So it'll get more spin on the long pips because the balls keeps spinning the same way, basically.
Okay, so very similar strokes, just slight differences on the angle of your bat, which you will deal with when you start chopping. So to achieve a consistent short pitch chop, yeah, just watch our videos on the chopping. All the principles apply, and you just need to practice with the short pips just so you get used to getting the right angle depending on the spin that they put on the ball. Hope that helps, and thank you for the question. All right, Alois, Les has asked us if you can settle an argument.
We love these, Jeff. We love these.
We do. Les says that once the ball has left the palm of the server in doubles, if the non-playing hands of any of the four players touches the playing surface during the rally, then it is a fault, regardless of whose turn it is.
Yep. So Les, you are right. So as soon as the ball is in play, so as soon as if I've served, then if Jeff or Jeff's partner puts their hand on the table at any time during the rally, they lose the point. So it's not only when it's your shot, and it's any time during the rally you're not allowed to touch the table. So yeah, so Les, I think you're the winner of that argument. You also asked another question.
Sorry, Alice, so you're not allowed to touch the table with your non-playing hand, is that correct?
Yeah, sorry, that's right, with your non-playing hand. So and your non-playing hand is the only thing that isn't allowed to touch the table. So you are allowed to touch the table with your elbow if you want, or even with your forearm, just as long as your non-playing hand doesn't touch the surface of the table.
Excellent. And so you were saying something else about Les?
Yeah, so you also asked an extra question in the Ask the Coach question section, and that was, with players with a disability, are they allowed to touch the table if they've got really bad balance? And the simple answer is, at the highest level, no, they're not. So they're still not allowed to touch the table surface, even if they're very unstable on their feet. They've got to keep their non-playing hand off the table. So they might be able to balance in some other way, but yeah, certainly not by touching the table with your non-playing hand.
There you go. Well, I hope that settles the argument, Les, and thank you very much for the question. All right, well, that wraps up the show. So I'm going to cue a bit more Merry Christmas. Everyone, have a Merry Christmas, and hopefully you have a great Christmas, and we will be back at some stage to record a few more shows. And thank you, Alois, for a great 53 shows so far.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Yes, 53 shows. That's getting up there. And yes, I echo your sentiments, Jeff. I hope everyone out there has a really safe and a happy Christmas. And hopefully you might be able to sneak in a little bit of table tennis on Christmas Day. We'll see how you go.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.
All right.
Good one. I was wondering if I had actually... oh, we're still broadcasting.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. I thought I'd hit the stop broadcast button, Alice, but I hadn't. All right, let me try.